TMZ is reporting that the car is linked to the popular singer David. The LAPD towed the car from the yard after gathering evidence at the scene. They say the car was reported abandoned in the Hollywood Hills about 5 days ago.
So we finally have an update on the body that was found in David's car.
Now let's get into this wild story that's got the whole internet buzzing. It's about David, aka d4vd. For those who don't know, David is a New York-born, Houston-raised singer who blew up straight off TikTok just a few years ago. His breakout hit, Romantic Homicide, turned him from an unknown teen into a viral sensation, and that track alone ended up landing him a record deal. Since then, he's been carving out his own lane, kind of on the fringe of mainstream, but still pulling crazy numbers and building a super loyal fan base. At just 20 years old, he's already set himself up as one of the most successful young names in music right now. But here's where things take a sharp, unexpected turn. Yesterday, some shocking news broke that nobody saw coming. Reports say the LAPD discovered a body inside an impounded Tesla linked to David himself. Yes, you heard that right. His name is officially tied to a police investigation, and the streets are going crazy trying to piece together what this really means. What makes this even more confusing is that David has never been associated with violence, criminal activity, or any kind of trouble with the law. He's seen as the quiet, mysterious type, someone who stays in his own world, makes music, and avoids drama. And yet now his name is being thrown around in connection with human remains. Something way darker than anyone ever imagined. Here's what we know so far. According to police, the Tesla was being held at a tow yard in Los Angeles, Hollywood. Around 12:30 p.m. on Monday, officers responded after multiple complaints of a horrible odor coming from the vehicle. Residents in the area said the smell was so strong it couldn't be ignored. When the car was opened, the discovery was chilling. Human remains stuffed inside a bag placed in the front seat of the Tesla. Law enforcement then ran the plates, and that's when it was revealed the car was registered to a David Burke, the legal name of popular artist David, aka d4vd. Authorities say the car had actually been sitting in that lot for days before anyone uncovered what was inside. And here's an extra layer. Several news outlets are reporting that police are still working to identify the victim and determine exactly how the body ended up inside David's car. Right now, there's no official statement from David or his team, and that silence is only fueling the mystery. Some fans are rushing to defend him, saying there's no way he's involved, while others are whispering that this could be connected to something way bigger than just music. This case is blowing up everywhere right now, not just because of the shocking discovery, but because of who the car belongs to. You can already imagine why social media can't stop talking about it. David, from what we know, is just a young artist out here chasing his dream. He's not a known troublemaker, not some wild Hollywood villain, just a regular kid who dropped a viral track, signed a record deal, and suddenly found himself lit up in the spotlight. And now, people are asking the craziest questions. Did David really catch a body? Is he secretly living some dark double life like Dexter Morgan out of Bay Harbor Butcher fame? Those jokes are flying around online, but behind the memes is a very real and disturbing case. The LAPD confirmed that the body was found stuffed inside a bag in the front trunk of that Tesla. And by the time officers discovered it, the remains were already decomposing. At first, nobody had any idea who it could be, but then officials revealed that the remains belonged to a woman. Here's what they released. She was about 5 feet 2 inches, weighing just 71 pounds with wavy black hair. She had on a tube-top black leggings, a yellow bracelet, and metal stud earrings. And this detail right here has social media spinning. She reportedly had a tattoo on her right index finger that literally said, "Shh." Creepy doesn't even begin to describe it.
Victim ID'd as female with distinct tattoo, dressed in tube-top leggings. So the article was posted late last night, and it says that the authorities are inching closer to identifying the badly decomposed body that was found in this car. Then it goes on to say that the medical examiner issued a report and describes like what the victim looked like, right? They listed the gender as female, about 5'1" and 71 pounds. The ME also says that she has wavy black hair with a tattoo on her right index finger that reads "shh." The article continues stating that when the victim's corpse was discovered, she was wearing a tube top with black leggings and 2 pieces of jewelry, a single metal stud earring, and a metal chain bracelet in the shape of a W. It also states that the ME could not determine her age or exact cause of death, but the police are investigating it, of course, as like an unaliving. Now, the police not being able to determine the exact age or cause of death is not surprising to me at all. I mean, LA has been in like the high 80s.
Right now, investigators are keeping her identity under wraps, but they confirm she had been dead for some time before she was found. The coroner's report is going to be key to figuring out not only who she was, but how exactly she died. And of course, the first person police want to speak to is the registered owner of the Tesla, David himself. Sources say authorities have already contacted him, but as of right now, neither he nor his team have released any kind of statement. That silence is making fans even more anxious. And if that wasn't enough chaos, get this. Just one day later on Tuesday, police discovered another body inside a different car in South LA. Now, officials are stressing that there's no evidence the two cases are connected, but let's be real, the timing feels insane. Meanwhile, David's trying to carry on like business as usual. He's still out on tour, even performing in Minneapolis just the other night. But the fallout is already creeping into his career. Just a few days ago, David was front and center on Hollister's official website, modeling their new Crocs collab. Now, fans have noticed the brand has quietly pulled him from the campaign's homepage. That move has people wondering if companies are already distancing themselves from him before the full truth even comes out. We're talking hoodies, sweats, Crocs, the whole rollout. David's face and name were plastered all over Hollister's new campaign, right at the center of their website. But the second the Tesla story broke, poof, gone. Hollister wasted no time, pulled the plug instantly, swapped David out with another model, and just like that, one of his biggest, most lucrative brand deals vanished overnight. That's how fast things can flip in this industry. Now here's where it gets even crazier. According to TMZ, the LAPD themselves had to pick up the phone and call David directly, letting him know, your Tesla is an impound with a dead body inside. Imagine hearing that. Reportedly, David was just as shocked as everybody else and told police he had absolutely no idea this was going down. Right now, sources say he's fully cooperating with investigators, and despite the storm around him, he's still pushing forward with his tour dates and performances. As for the Tesla itself, that's still one giant question mark. Nobody knows if David loaned the car to somebody, if it might have been stolen, or if there's some other explanation. The details are murky. Reports say David's Tesla was left parked on a street in Hollywood, Los Angeles. After sitting there for a bit, it got towed to the lot. A couple of days later, workers noticed a foul odor coming from the car. Once they opened the front trunk, that's when they made the grim discovery of human remains. Now circle back to Hollister. This is where you see how fast corporate America moves when scandal touches an artist's name. One day, David's modeling their new Crocs collab, smiling for the cameras, giving them that TikTok gen audience they crave. The next, they're scrubbing him from the website like he never existed. And so far, Hollister hasn't put out a statement, but honestly, they don't even need to. It's crystal clear they don't want the smoke of being tied to an open police investigation, because let's keep it real, mainstream brands aren't in the business of risk. They only work with artists like David because he represents access to young, internet-savvy fans. That world is all about image, reputation, and how fast you can shift product. The moment that image gets stained, they're cutting ties with zero hesitation. But let's get one thing straight. Hollister dropping David has nothing to do with whether he's guilty or innocent. That's not how these brands operate. Pulling him from a campaign is all about optics, all about how things look on the surface. Corporate brands don't care about waiting for the facts to play out. They care about protecting their own image and keeping their customers comfortable. That's how they survive. So the real question everybody's asking is, what the hell is really going on here? Until the full story comes out, we're stuck with limited details, and all we can do is piece it together from the information that's been made public. And this feels like one of those cases where the car wasn't even under David's control. In a city like Los Angeles, it's not hard to imagine someone breaking into a parked car or even stealing it outright. Now here's what's wild. The LAPD still hasn't confirmed how exactly the Tesla ended up impounded in the first place. All we know is it was reportedly left parked on a street in Hollywood. After sitting there for a bit, it got towed into the yard, and then workers eventually noticed that smell coming from it. That discovery led straight to the shocking reveal of a decomposed body. Adding more weight to the mystery, new reports say detectives are trying to retrace David's movements during the time the car was abandoned. They're looking into surveillance footage, neighborhood witnesses, and even digital car data to figure out who might have had the vehicle last. The victim's tattoo, the one that says "shh" on her finger, is now being used to cross-reference missing persons databases, but so far, her identity hasn't been made public. And stories about cars getting stolen or vandalized are basically daily news. It's not far-fetched at all that David's Tesla became part of that cycle of chaos. As for the woman herself, rest in peace to her. At this point, we don't know her full story, what happened to her, or how she ended up in that trunk. But the fact that this tragedy is now tied to the name of a 20-year-old rising music star makes it even more heartbreaking and confusing for everybody watching. The details we do have paint a tragic, almost haunting picture. The woman only weighed 71 pounds. That's severely underweight. It raises tough questions. Was she homeless? Was she battling addiction? Or maybe, as many suspect, she was attacked by whoever put her in that trunk. Honestly, that last possibility feels the most believable given the way this whole story is unfolding. And this isn't just about one case. It speaks to a much bigger, ongoing problem. Violence against women is still happening every single day, and instead of slowing down, it feels like it's increasing. Every time a story like this breaks, it's a reminder of how unsafe the world can be, especially for vulnerable women. It's heartbreaking, it's sickening, and yet it keeps happening over and over again. Now, we still don't know her name. Police have described her, but they haven't made the full ID public yet. Reporters are saying detectives are actively working to match her description against missing persons cases in the area. If that's true, then we might see her identity revealed soon. And when it is, that could shift this whole investigation into another gear. Rest in peace to that young woman. David is 20 years old, his career is booming, he's touring, and he's landing brand deals. That's not someone who seems like they'd be wrapped up in something this dark. And let's be clear, David isn't a street rapper. He's not the type who raps about the block, gang life, or illegal moves. He's a singer. His music is emotional, introspective, more artsy than aggressive. If this were someone who openly glorifies street activity, the suspicion might feel heavier, but with David, it just doesn't line up. Of course, that doesn't erase the fact that his car was at the center of a homicide investigation. That detail alone has the internet divided. Some fans are already defending him, saying this is clearly a setup or some kind of twisted coincidence. Others are side-eyeing the whole situation, arguing that no matter how you spin it, a dead body in your car isn't normal. At the end of the day, this is one of those moments where we all have to do the responsible thing, wait for the truth to come out. It's the only fair way to handle a story this serious, especially when it involves both a young artist with influence and the tragic death of a woman whose story is still untold. Right now, every major platform is reporting on this story, but here's the thing. People need to be careful before throwing accusations at this young man. Law enforcement is already on it, and with the kind of technology they've got today, you better believe the truth is coming out sooner or later. Between surveillance cameras, car GPS data, phone records, and even DNA testing, investigators have endless tools to piece together what really happened. It's not like the old days where things could stay hidden forever. These days, it's easy for them to track every move and figure out who was involved. Hopefully, this entire mess turns out to be nothing more than a misunderstanding on David's part. Because let's be real, this is a 20-year-old kid who's already accomplished what some people never touch in a lifetime. He's charted, he's toured, he's built a loyal fan base, all before even hitting 21. It would be devastating if all that talent, all that success got cut down because of something reckless in the streets. And that's exactly why this story is shaking people up so much. It's not just about a Tesla and a body, it's about the image of a rising artist who never once seemed like the type to get wrapped up in something this dark. That disconnect is what's making the internet spiral with theories, with memes, and with wild speculation. But the truth? Only the investigation will settle that. But before I wrap this up, I gotta hear from you. What do you think about this David story? The fact that a woman's body was found inside a car registered to him has social media in chaos, and everybody's got an opinion right now. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you hit that like and, of course, subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. I'll see you in the next one.